Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 at 7:33 p.m. Good evening. My name is Christian Klein. I am the chair of the Arlington Zoning Board of Appeals, and I'm calling this meeting of the board to order. First, I'd like to confirm that all members and anticipated officials are present. From the Zoning Board of Appeals, Roger DuPont,
Here.
Patrick Hanlon,
Here.
Venkat Hully,
Here.
Bradley Baranowski,
Here.
and Elaine Hoffman.
Here.
Good to have you all with us. I will just note for the record that Adam LeBlanc has indicated that he's unable to join us this evening. Joining us on behalf of the town, we have Colleen Ralston, our zoning assistant.
Here.
To have you with us. And appearing for docket 3822 20 Pond Lane, we should have attorney Doug Troyer.
Present.
Good to have you with us. Appearing for docket 3833 131 Florence Avenue. I think I saw Stephen Mulready is here.
How you doing?
Hi.
Good to have you with us. And appearing for docket 3835 28 Draper Avenue, Kelly Casey, I believe, is with us. Perfect. Good to have you with us. So tonight's meeting of the Arlington Zoning Board of Appeals is being conducted remotely, consistent with the supplemental budget bill signed by Governor Healy on March 29th, 2023, which extended temporary provisions pertaining to the open meeting law to March 31st, 2025. The extension of these provisions allows public bodies to hold their meetings remotely by providing live, adequate alternative means of public access to the deliberations. This meeting is being recorded and will be broadcast by ACMi. Members of the public who are participating by Zoom and who wish to offer public comment should be aware that they will be asked to provide their full name and address so that a complete public record of the meeting can be taken in accordance with state law. All participants of this meeting are advised that people may be listening to the meeting without offering public comment, and those people are not required to identify themselves. Any votes that are taken this evening will be conducted by roll call. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. As chair, I reserve the right to take items out of order in the interest of promoting an orderly meeting. As the board will be taking up new business at this meeting, as chair, I make the following land acknowledgement. Whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Arlington, Massachusetts discusses and arbitrates the use of land in Arlington, formerly known as Menotomy, an Algonquin word meaning swift waters, the board hereby acknowledges that the town of Arlington is located on the ancestral lands of the Massachusetts tribe, the tribe of indigenous peoples from whom the colony, province, and commonwealth have taken their names. We pay our respects to the ancestral bloodline of the Massachusetts tribe and their descendants who still inhabit historic Massachusetts territories today. So there are, three items on our agenda this evening. First, I'll pick up item 2, which is a vote on the decision on Florence Avenue. So this is a case that was heard at our prior meeting. We had a decision written by Mr. Hanlon, distributed to the board for questions and comments. And a final version was posted to the board today. It is a decision in favor of approval with the conditions that were attached at the prior meeting. Are there any additional questions or comments from the board in regards to that application or that decision, I should say? Seeing none. I move that the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Arlington approve and adopt the written decision in docket 3833 131 Florence Avenue, which grants a special permit under sections 333 and 6110A in the zoning bylaw.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. So as I noted before, Mr. LeBlanc is absent, and I have asked, excuse me, Ms. Hoffman to vote in his stead. So with that, roll call vote of the board and for approval, voting yes or no. Mr. DuPont.
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon.
Yes.
Mr. Holly.
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, that is approved. And so that will, the decision will be signed, sent to the city clerk's, the town clerk's office. There's a 20-day appeal period. After which the final version can be picked up, a copy filed with the Registry of Deeds, and you are off and running.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that concludes the administrative items this evening. Before opening tonight's meeting for public hearings, I'm going to actually waive that reading for the moment and move directly on to the docket 3822 20 Pond Lane. So this is an application that we had originally heard in October, and there have been a series of continuances from that date. As most people may be aware, the board has 90 days in which to close a public hearing. We are at that point on this hearing, and there's a further request for continuance on behalf of the applicant. I have asked the applicant if they could submit a letter to the board requesting additional time for the hearing to progress. We've agreed that we would double the 90 days to 180 days, which comes out to April 21st, 2025. So we have a letter to that effect that was filed with the board. And so I would recommend for the board that we accept that, because that will allow this procedure to proceedings to continue. Are there any questions or comments from the board about that? Seeing none, I move that the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of Arlington agree to extend the public hearing period of review for docket 3822 20 Pond Lane to April 21st, 2025, per the requirements of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9. A signed copy of the agreement is to be filed with the board, filed by the board with the town clerk. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. So this is a vote of the board to extend the public hearing period for 20 Pond Lane to April 21st, 2025. Voting yes or no. Roger DuPont,
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon,
Yes.
Mr. Holly,
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Baranowski,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So that is extended. We then need to do the actual continuance. The applicant is requested to be continued to March. So the first meeting in March is March 11th, if that date is acceptable to the applicant.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Perfect. So with that, I move that the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of Arlington continue the public hearing in docket 3822 20 Pond Lane to Tuesday, March 11th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m.
Second.
Thank you. And then a vote of the board voting yes or no. Mr. DuPont,
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon,
Yes.
Mr. Holly,
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Baranowski.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. So we are continued on 20 Pond Lane until Tuesday, March 11th, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, board members. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. You as well. With that, we move to item 4 on our agenda, which is docket 3835 28 Draper Street. I understand from the applicant that they are requesting a continuance this evening.
Yeah, my architect is in here, so I'm assuming he did.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're going to open and then continue on the hearing. The reason for that, under state law, for a request for a special permit, the board has 65 days from the date that it is filed until the hearing can be opened. We are currently on day 55. So if we were to continue for 2 weeks, we would be beyond the statutory limit. And state law does not appear to grant the board the option of extending that period. So we're just going to go ahead, formally open the hearing this evening, and go ahead and continue straight away. So with that, we have before us is docket 3835 28 Draper Street. Is a request for a special permit and for a variance. The applicant, Ms. Casey, is here this evening. As we just discussed, they're seeking to continue. And wanted to confirm that a continuance to the date of February 25th would be acceptable.
February 25th?
Yep. So 2 weeks.
Okay. Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep, perfect.
Perfect. Okay. So are there any questions from the board? Seeing none, I move that the zoning board of appeals for the town of Arlington continue the public hearing for docket 3838, 28 Draper Avenue to Tuesday, February 25th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. So roll call vote of the board to continue. Mr. DuPont,
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon,
Yes.
Mr. Holly,
Yes.
Mr. LeBlanc is not present. Mr. Baranowski,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So we are continued on Draper Avenue until our next hearing date, which is February 25th. Great. Thank you so much. Those are the hearings that we had before us this evening. So next on our agenda, we go through the review of our upcoming meeting. So February 25th is our next hearing. That's in 2 weeks. We'll have 2 items on that agenda. One is 28 Draper, which we just mentioned, and the other is 39 Woodside. They are continued to that date. And hopefully we'll have some documentation from them next week to review what they are looking to do. The meeting after that is Tuesday, March 11th, which will have 20 Pond Lane. And I believe that might be the only item on for March 11th at this time. But tonight, so that's the last of our regular business. Tonight is the final evening. Joining us for the board for Ms. Hoffman. Elaine has been with us for a good period of time. And although she only was able to serve as an associate member, she was a great asset to the board, especially on matters relating to energy and buildings and green buildings and conservation. So we will miss that counsel from her, but she is stepping down, submitting a letter of resignation, and the select board will be seeking a new member. So we just take a minute to thank Elaine for her contributions to the board and wish her the best.
Good
Thank
luck,
you.
Lane.
Ah.
Right.
Thank you. I will miss all of this, but
Yeah.
it's been
You
it's
don't
been
have
my
to. You
pleasure.
can always check in.
That's true. You can expect to see me from time to time.
Perfect.
But,
Well, thank you again, Fred.
Good luck with everything.
thank you. And I just have to say that I really have admired all the hard work and dedication that you all put into this on a continuous basis. So I wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, I would like to thank you all for your participation in tonight's very short meeting of the Arlington Zoning Board of Appeals. I appreciate everyone's patience throughout the meeting. I would especially like to thank Colleen Ralston and Mike Champa for their assistance in preparing for and hosting our online meeting. Please note the purpose of the board's recording of the meeting is to ensure the creation of an accurate record of its proceedings. It is our understanding that the recording made by ACMi will be available on demand at ACMi TV within the coming days. If anyone has comments or recommendations, please send them via email to zba@town.arlington.ma.us. That email address is also listed on the Zoning Board of Appeals website. And so to conclude tonight's meeting, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr.
Second.
Hill. Thank you, Mr. DuPont. So roll call vote of the board to adjourn. Mr. DuPont,
Yes.
Mr. Hanlon,
Yes.
Mr. Holly,
Yes.
Mr. Baranowski,
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. The board is adjourned. Thank you all so much for being here.
Night night.
We will see you in 2
Night,
weeks.
night.
Night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.